Hello folks, this is Syllabus, Associate Professor from MLR Institute of Technology. I'm here with you today to share my knowledge on web technologies, which is a course in your third year first semester. Let's start with why web technologies. The course objectives here are to teach the students the basics of client-side programming like both HTML and XML, and also the server-side scripting languages like PHP, servlets, and JSP, and explain the web application development process and procedures, and impart the serverless technology for writing business logic, and facilitate the students the concepts of databases using the JDBC, and familiarize various concepts of application development using JSP. Then prerequisites, we assume you have a good understanding of Java programming and Java programming language, and it will be great if you have a basic understanding of web application and also how internet works. And coming to your course organization, the course is organized into 5 units. So where each unit have a new technology. So first unit covers XHTML and XML, and your second unit is covered with introduction to PHP, which is a server-side scripting language, and the third unit is client-side scripting language, which is JavaScript, and then fourth is a servlet, and the fifth is a JSP. The syllabus which is covered under all these 5 units. Let us have a quick glance of what we have. In the first unit, you have XHTML and XML, as I told you, and the topics which are covered here are the basic syntaxes and standard structures and basic text markups, images, how to insert the images into the website, how to insert the hyperlinks and list tables, and also how to create a frames. Then we have is the XML, introduction to XML, defining XML tags, data attributes and values, document type definitions, XML schemas, and document object models. So these are the topics which we cover in XML2. Then moving to Unit 2, we have introduction to PHP, declaring the variables, data types, arrays, strings, operations, expressions, control structures, functions. So these topics which are very similar as your C language. Then moving further, we have as a reading data from web controls, form controls like radio buttons, okay, and lists, etc. Then handling the file uploads, connecting to the database using MySQL, and executing simple queries using that, and handling results, and handling the sessions and cookies. Coming to Unit 3, again we have as a client-side scripting language, that is JavaScript, which is used for doing such validations when you navigate from one page to other and using forms in the websites. So JavaScript language declaring variables, scope of variables, functions, event handlers like on submit, on click, on load, which you learn in your Java programming. Then document object model and form validations. And moving further, we have as a Unit 4, which is nothing but introduction to servlets. This is going to be very interesting, where we use where we learn how to make a system as a server, how to use the servers, and write the server-side scripting languages, server-side programming language. So common gateway interface, life cycle of a servlet, deploying a servlet API, reading servlet parameters, reading initialization parameters, handling HTTP requests, handling HTTP responses, and also using cookies and sessions, which you learn from PHP 2, that this is how using servlet, the concept is same. Then connecting to the database using JDBC. So moving further, we have as a 5th unit, the drawbacks which you have in the Unit 4 will be covered in the 5th unit using JSP. So the topics that are covered in introduction to JSP are the anatomy of JSP page, JSP processing declarations, directive expressions, code snippets, then implicit objects using beans in JSP pages, using cookies and sessions. And if you see, if you observe, you have this cookies and sessions in PHP 2nd unit, in servlets 4th unit, and also in JSP 5th unit. We'll see how they vary. Then tracking cookies and session tracking and connecting to database in JSP. So that is all with the syllabus of your web technologies. Then coming to the textbooks, you can prefer with web technologies Uttam K. Roy, Oxford University Press. Then you have for 2nd unit, you have a PHP complete reference PHP, Steven Holzner, Tata MC Grohel publisher. And you also have reference textbooks. This is very good textbook, Web Programming Building Internet Applications by Chris Pitt, second edition, where all the units like 1, 2, 3, 4 will be covered in this book. Then coming to 5th unit JSP, you have this very good book, Java Server Pages by Hans Bergsten, SBT orally. So apart from all those 4 books, you also can refer these books, these 4. JavaScript by D. Flanagan and Beginning Web Programming, John Duckett, Programming World Wide Web by R.W. Sebesta, and Internet World Wide Web, How to Program. So this is about the textbook. And coming to the course outcome. Course outcomes are the learning outcomes by the end of the student, what student is gaining, what student is able to learn, what student is able to do is nothing but the course outcome. So here we have creating web pages using the PHP, identify the difference between HTML, PHP, XML documents, identify the engineering structural design of XML and parse trees, understanding the concepts of JavaScript, identify the difference and choose the difference between the JSP and servlets. So these are all the outcomes of web technologies. Thank you.